The Hog Sty is brought to you by TicketClub.com, your one-stop shop for live events nationwide. Whether you're looking for game, theater, or live performance tickets, don't sweat it. TicketClub.com has you covered. So make sure you're going there for all your live entertainment needs, and make sure you're clicking over to them from the banner at the top of the hogsty.com.
Come one, come all to the Hog Sty, DC's unofficial leading source for all things Redskins and the NFL, now part of Big Heads Media. Make sure you check on us there at bigheadsmedia.com, home base for the world's best podcast network. We have just one preseason game to go, and then it's time for some football. Get excited. You know damn well that we're the captains of this crazy starship through the season. Make sure you're checking back with us on the regular. I'm Sean Conti. Here tonight are the intrepid Hogs themselves. That's Steve Thomas and Alex Zeese. How you fellas doing tonight?
I'm missing Yankees-Dodgers for this, so let's make this a good show.
Yeah. Oh, no.
All right.
I mean, are they still wearing the weird all-white, all-black uniforms?
Yeah, it's the strangest thing because the Dodgers yesterday had black caps on.
That's not
which
right.
is Yankee colors. Yeah.
Not right.
So I didn't understand it at all. Yeah.
And then they have stupid nicknames on the shirts.
Which is even dumber.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Very XFL.
Oh, that is stupid.
I don't know. There's some philosophy behind it. I don't know what it is, but there's some reason they're doing it.
Sales.
You know.
That's...
Well, yeah, I know, but there was ostensibly some name for it. It's like the something weekend.
Yeah.
Players
Players
I can't
weekend.
remember what it is. Is that what
Yeah.
it is? Okay.
I'm not even aware of that. That shows my baseball skills.
You're not missing anything.
All right. Well, yeah. I wouldn't think so. Well, we've had some news this week. We also have a recap to do and our amazing annual season predictions. So lots of fun happening on the show tonight. Shall we jump right into the Redskins news, fellas?
Yeah,
Sure.
because there's some big stories this week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how big they are. Does any of this surprise you? Maybe we should just jump right into it.
Okay, so
So the Redskins announced their starter.
Yeah.
You guys want to take this away? Who's going to be this? Wow me with how
well,
exciting this starter.
it's going to be
Who's
it's
it
going to be Brett Favre. He's coming out of retirement.
Yes. I knew it. I knew they had.
He
something
may look
cooking.
like Grizzly Adams, and he may be 50 years old, but he's coming out of retirement.
He'll come out in a walker, you know.
And he'll probably still have a stronger arm than all these guys.
That's the scary thing about Brett Favre.
Case Keenum is the Redskins starter.
Yes, not a shot.
Get excited. Yeah, no, anybody who's been paying attention knew this, almost since week one. Jay Gruden commented on it at his presser on Sunday and said two things. He said, one, we anticipate Case producing. If he produces, he's got nothing to worry about. Moving forward, we intend on Case being the guy. And then his other quote was, I think as it stands now, we'll start with Case at the opener, and Dwayne will get himself ready, and we'll go from there. Anytime you come in as 1 or 2 or 3 quarterback, you've got to get yourself ready to play at all times. Now, what I get out of this, the line if he produces, he's got nothing to worry about, means that Dwayne Haskins is going to play.
He's got a lot to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. You were like a 6 out of 10 for excitement going into the season, right, Steve? Is that what you said last week?
Me?
You're about your confidence level going into the season.
Did we? I don't even. I've slept since then. I don't even.
Yeah, you
might have
were
been
the
a
most
4.
confident, that's for sure.
Okay. This doesn't change your excitement about the season, does it?
No, because I'll tell you what. I mean, has Keenum looked like he's wowed anybody in the games?
No.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, he's not. And so, it didn't exactly inspire confidence, no.
He's also getting it by default. I mean, Colt McCoy's not going to be ready, so that's not an option. We've all seen out of Haskins that he's just not quite there yet. So he's kind of just slouched into this position, which, we kind of all predicted from the beginning. So doesn't really change in our prognosis for the season.
I do think Haskins is getting better, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all saw that, and we'll get to that part later later on the show.
Yeah, but listen, Case Keenum started 54 games, passed
Right.
for 12,661 yards. You have a guy like that on the roster, I think he has to start, particularly when the schedule's so hard in the beginning of the year.
Well, what I take away from this, and there's 2 bits of little good news with this. The Redskins kind of came into this offseason, even before they got Haskins, knowing they were going to draft a rookie somewhere. just because they had to with the Alex Smith situation. And they really came into the season and said, we have a plan. It's going to be a veteran starts, and we actually develop a rookie this time. And they've stuck to it. And Dan hasn't gotten in the way now. Bruce hasn't gotten in the way now. They're staying with this plan of develop a kid, let him get the time he needs to grow, don't throw him in too early. And I'm happy to see that.
Well, Dan and Bruce are too busy running off their Hall of Fame left tackle to get involved in the quarterback decision.
Right. Right. They were busy with that.
Yeah. It took a lot of effort to alienate a 7-time Pro Bowler.
Right.
But somehow
amazingly,
they
did it all the way from France, which is even more impressive.
Yeah, but Keenum, I mean, it could be worse, but it could be a lot better too. I mean, he's certainly the choice for this team, but it's not like Case Keenum inspires confidence. And I think if you went and picked up I don't even know if they still sell those Street and Smiths, NFL preview magazines anymore. They may not, but I used to buy those every year, and they would give a grade to each position group and every team.
Right.
This would be like a D.
Yeah, no question.
Compared to the rest of the NFL, it's not like we've got Andrew Luck. Oh, and sorry, he's gone. It's not like we've got Cam Newton. Sitting there. It's Case Keenum, who had one good year.
Yeah. Look, let's say some nice things about Keenum, though. He stays relatively healthy. He played all games last year, stayed relatively healthy. Team didn't do well, but he did okay. Threw for almost 4,000 yards. Kind of not a great touchdown-interception ratio by any means, but, it's Case Keenum. You can't exactly expect him to be a world beater going out there. But I think he did a perfectly serviceable job, and that's why the philosophy of this team kind of makes sense. Get somebody in there who's solid. Develop the young guy, like we've all said a million times. I mean, it makes sense.
Listen,
at least he's gonna not, shatter his leg like happened twice.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, don't jinx him.
Hopefully.
But listen, I mean, his 2017 was a darn good year. 98.3 quarterback rating, 67% completion percentage. That was the year with the Vikings and the fabulous miracle finish there, in the playoffs. I mean, but since we're talking about it, here are his career numbers: 57 games, started 54. 62% completion percentage, 64 touchdowns, 42 interceptions, 84.5 quarterback rating on his career. Last year, his completion percentage was pretty much right on the nose, but his quarterback rating is only 81.2, which is probably why he's a Redskin now, because they traded him.
Right.
So he's been serviceable. I don't have anything against Case Keenum. I'm just saying, does he wow me? No. That's all.
No.
Nobody go out there and buy Case Keenum. Redskins.
No, go get your Kirk Cousins jersey and just put a piece of tape on the back with a different name on it.
Dude, I'm rocking the Griffin still some weekends. I mean, that's what needs to take.
Well, I'm trying to think. Maybe if you have a Mark Brunell jersey, you could also do this.
I think somebody's already done this. Cause I thought I saw it somewhere, but I want somebody to make a jersey that has every quarterback's name on it in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's been done. I see those. They make their way on the internet every once in a while. But to me, it's just funny that I could probably name 4 or 5 guys now who've worn number 8 for us and started at least a couple games.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Speaking of people starting, so Jay Gruden, this is the 4th. This is his 6th year that he's starting. Is that right? So he's had 4 different starting quarterbacks in 6 years. I think we all thought, quarterback guru, this guy's going to bring stability, and we're going to get our guy, and it just hasn't materialized.
Well, actually, I think technically we've had more starters. I mean, not planned.
Let's go over this.
Starting the season.
Okay, because we had Robert Griffin.
Right. Kirk.
Kirk
and Colt.
Kirk and Colt both.
Then Kirk
not to start the season, though. I mean, to start the season, it was Griffin, Cousins.
Right.
McCoy never started a season.
No. It was Griffin's Cousins, Smith, Keenum to start the season.
Yeah.
Then you can add in 1, 2, 3, 4 more guys.
Johnson and Sanchez.
Yeah.
So, who are we missing? Somebody.
We're probably missing somebody. Yeah.
Colt, like we said earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So geez. So we've got to count this off: Griffin, Cousins, Colt, Smith, Sanchez, and Johnson. That's 6 quarterbacks who have started a game under the Jay Gruden era.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too much. Can we agree on that? It's too much. This is just way too much.
But, some of this is not his plan, obviously.
No, it's true. Although, I don't know. This is the problem with the Redskins, is you just never know. So now we're having Trent Williams, who's indicting the medical staff. The team has had a ton of medical problems. This is what we always say about the team. It's just muddy waters from the administration on down to the field level.
Oh, I thought you meant the blues musician or something.
I still say the Trent thing is worth only about money, personally.
You're probably right, but we just will never know, and it just adds another shroud of mystery and uncertainty.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing. We won't ever know.
No,
because
and
they'll
I
never
also
tell.
don't think he's worth a first-round pick. Sorry, guys, but I don't. I know a lot of you out there think that. Personally, I don't. And for those of you who are like aching for a trade with the Texans for Jadeveon Clowney, where on earth is he going to play?
Yeah.
Somebody help me, because we've got 2 first-round picks and a dude, and Matt Ioannidis, who just got a big contract in the interior. Then you've got Ryan Kerrigan, Mr. Pro Bowler, Redskins sack leader almost. Then you've got Montez Sweat, who we just spent a first-round pick on.
Right. I saw somebody put out there, and it was actually like a Ian Rappaport. It might have been at Rappaport, but someone like that was like, well, you could just run 3 outside edge rushers and 3 DTs and not have a middle linebacker. It's like, who would suggest this? Where do you play? Where do you think football is played?
I don't know. I just don't understand. I just think I just think you're not thinking clearly if you want Jadeveon Clowney. And by the way, you can't have too many pass rushers, okay? I get that it's a fine thing to say, you can never have too many pass rushers. Well, yes, you can.
Right.
When you're talking about big money starters, yes, you can. Do you need like a Casanova McKenzie who can be thrown in there on a third down and get there? 100%. I'm all for getting as many of those guys as possible. What you don't
having
need,
2 or 3 guys who are on cheap deals, great. Yeah.
But you don't need Jadeveon Clowney, Montez Sweat, Ryan Kerrigan. You can't play all those guys.
Nope.
If they're on big contracts. Yeah. Sorry, I'm off on a tangent.
No, it's fine.
You know what? I kind of have a tangent too, but I was just thinking about this as we're naming big name players. Did we have any huge, flashy offseason acquisitions this year? This might be the first year that we didn't have.
You're not calling Case Keenum a flashy offseason?
I'm not. Believe it or not, I'm not doing that. I don't think we won the offseason.
Well, Landon Collins
we went off the field this season. Landon Collins, yeah, that's. I'm going to put that as like a extremely solid. I don't know. Can you call that flashy?
He's the highest paid. I think he was the highest paid safety. I don't know if he's
6-year, $84 million contract.
Yeah,
that's more than I remember it being. Wow. Okay, I guess that counts.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem as flashy as like Skins sign Adrian Peterson.
Well, because it's a defensive player. And it's, it's not the sexy wide receiver or big name like that.
They haven't really won the offseason for a while, to be honest. I mean, because even Alex Smith wasn't like a big flashy signing.
No.
It was like, it was good, but it wasn't flashy.
I mean, they lucked into Josh Norman and Deshaun Jackson. Those are probably the 2 last big ones.
Yeah, those are definitely flashy signings for sure, both of them.
But again, wasn't in the plans. It just kind of happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think Alex Smith felt really good at the time. You're losing Kirk. You need someone else that can fill Kirk's shoes. That seemed like a really great match made in heaven. Obviously, in retrospect, not the best thing that ever happened to this team by a wide margin, but that felt flashy enough. For the situation that we were in when that happened, that felt flashy enough.
Right. Well, let's
Anything else about Keenum, or should we move on to the?
No, I mean, if you didn't think Keenum was going to start. You haven't been paying attention. Yeah.
Oh, and if you think Keenum will start all 16 games, you're also not paying attention.
You just don't know the Redskins.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good. We'll end the Keenum conversation on that. When do you predict Keenum is benched or is injured this season?
I'm guessing mid-season, around week 8.
I'm going to go. Week 8 is Minnesota. I'm going the game after the bye, which is the Jets.
Isn't that week 10 or something?
Yes, I'm going week 10.
Okay,
I'm saying
so mid-season.
Keenum survives till through the bye.
Okay.
Until the bye.
I'm being way more pessimistic and saying 6. So I say 6.
Is that because of performance or because he's going to be hurt?
This is just the blind gut feeling that I have. I don't care if he gets hurt or if it's performance. One of the two is going to.
That's cold, man. You don't care if the guy gets hurt. No, he doesn't.
Time to be cold. No, I care. I care moderately.
I don't want to see anybody badly hurt.
Yeah, I mean, if he can walk after the game.
I was kind of okay with Michael Irvin getting badly hurt, to be perfectly honest with you.
There are a few players that are probably exceptions.
So I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I was kind of okay with it once it happened. I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, let's move on. Next topic, then. We had kind of a big thing happen around the league, not to the Redskins, but Andrew Luck is retired.
Speaking of guys who got hurt to the point where a 29-year-old quarterback is retiring.
Did you ever think we'd get to the point where Robert Griffin III is still playing in the league and Andrew Luck is not?
Of course, he's hurt.
Did you ever think
Griffin is hurt, too, by the way.
I saw he was going to be ready, though, for Week 1. I thought I headlined about that.
Yeah, he's all in for Week 1 again.
All in for Week 1 on the bench.
Andrew Luck, here's my thoughts. I can't begrudge anybody, to retire. We don't know what's going through his head. We really don't know how awful it's been. We read about horrible injury. He had a ruptured spleen or something, and he's had very serious back problems and all sorts of things. And he truly has been like injury rehab kind of thing. But all that having been said, it was pretty crappy timing, to be fair. I think the Colts were probably preparing for Jacoby Brissett to play anyway at the beginning of the year. But, if he had done this a little earlier, the Colts probably could have made some moves. And that would maybe irritate me. But I can't begrudge the man because, we don't know what he's going through.
I agree with all that. And, it is a tough time to say. You ideally, if you're going to retire or make a move like this, like Trent Williams did to the Redskins, you really want to see these done early in the offseason if people want to make those decisions to retire or, it gives the teams a chance to compensate. But that, like you said, we don't know what's going through his head. It sounds like his injury rehab has just not been going well.
But he keeps having new injuries that start out small and spiral into missing entire seasons. You know?
Gee, I don't know what that's like. We, as Redskins fans, really need to understand. The Colts are as big of a clown show as the Redskins. They've just had star quarterbacks to help,
The Colts have done everything possible to help Andrew Luck fail.
Right. And they did the same thing to Peyton Manning for most of his career.
We have a terrible GM? The Colts freaking have a terrible front office. They are horrible. Here's what I want to ask you guys, though.
They also have an owner who, can't do enough drugs.
Yeah, he's a pillhead, and he got arrested for it. Here's what I want to ask you guys, because one of the big stories I thought that came out of last night with this is that the fan that he was intending to have a press conference. For those of you who didn't see this, and then the word leaked that he was retiring during the game.
During the game, and fans booed.
So when he's walking out of the stadium after the game into the locker room, the fans booed him. Now, did you guys have a problem with the fans booing him?
No. I understand it because of the reasons that we just went over. Why is this announcement coming out now? Why is it leaking during the game that he's retired? It just seems like a very weird chronology. I understand it if I were a Colts fan, I'd be extremely frustrated that this news is dropping now. That said, if they're still booing, if he's out in public at a restaurant and Indianapolis people are booing him or something, that would be unacceptable. But I kind of understand the raw emotions of this.
That's a fair point. I hadn't really even considered that perspective. That they're probably getting that info 30 seconds, beforehand, and there is a lot of raw emotion that probably comes with it. That said, he's done everything he could for that franchise in his career, so.
True.
It's not like he's, been a world-class screw-up. Other than the fact that he never learned how to shave,
He's got the world's worst beard. I mean, my thought on it is always, in terms of fans booing, has always been they're paying a lot of money to be in that stadium. If they want to boo, boo.
Yeah.
And you're a professional, highly paid professional athlete. You're a public figure. It comes with the territory. Get over it. That's always been my thought on it, And so I wasn't too. Is it the classiest thing to do? No, not really. But they have every right to boo. That's my thought.
Is it classy? No. There's nothing classy about sports fandom, though. So.
But I can understand what you're saying, Sean. It's like it's a raw emotion thing. If you talk to them now, they may feel differently. But that was right then in the moment, and they hadn't had a chance to hear him speak at all and talk about how much pain he's in and all that stuff. It's just Andrew Luck's quitting on us, and football starts in 10 days.
It sounds like the guy can barely walk at this point. So I understand.
And the other thing about it is that Andrew Luck does not need the money. He comes from a wealthy family. He never needed the money.
No.
And
he's going to have all that XFL money from his daddy. So
yeah, well, his daddy was rich before then, before the XFL. So it's not a money thing. It's not a family thing. It was just a love of the game thing for him, and it's just over.
Yep.
He's forgoing something like $20 million.
Yeah.
I think, right? By doing it. So
Yes.
could he have, I mean, just in theory, could he have stayed on the team, not made any sort of retirement statement, and been unable to play and made it a fraction of that money still through the year? Was that a possibility?
Yeah, let me look up his contract.
Yeah,
real fast.
I'm pretty sure,
curious.
yes. If he had not retired, he would have probably made more money this year than... Like, I heard the Colts are letting him keep his whole signing bonus, which is something they could go after. But, while Steve looks it up, I want to tie this back to the Redskins because we have a couple players, and one just got his 7th concussion last game.
Who could that be, Alex?
Yeah, that would be Jordan Reed. But a lot of people have been bringing up Jordan Reed. I want to talk about some other guys on this team who always seem to get hurt. Let's talk about Colt. Let's talk about Morgan Moses. Yep. Let's talk about Trent Williams, who knows if he'll ever even be back. But we have a handful of guys on this roster who never can play a full season. They're always getting hurt too, just like Andrew Luck. And should fans not always assume that these guys are going to be here 10, 15 years? Like, is it unreasonable to say, Andrew Luck's played 7 years. Now, he's a quarterback, and some of them played to 41 now, but, a 7-year career is not that unusual in the NFL. Like, are we holding these guys to too high of a standard? Also, how has the NFL not figured out how to identify more injury-prone players yet? That's my other pet peeve with all this.
Yeah, I think of it as the rule of 2. If you have 2 seasons where you're injured by, like, let's say week 8, it's ridiculous for anyone to assume that's going to get better.
That's a good rule. I like that.
Like if it's back-to-back seasons where you're out for half the season, as a fan, you just need to hedge your bets on this and assume that they're not going to be ready for a full season, really, more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like if Darius Geis, for example, he's young, right? He's got a ton of potential. He was out all last season. If he gets hurt again this year, if he can't start until week 8, or if he gets hurt in week 8, I think it's good enough to slap the injury-prone label on him and just assume that this is not a guy that can really stay healthy.
I mean, look, star players have been hurt and ruined careers before. Kajana Carter, remember him?
Yeah,
he was, just talk running backs alone. He was a star coming out of Penn State. He was supposed to be the next big thing, and then it was just over because he tore his knee up, and he was with the Redskins for 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I bet it happens, it just happens. And, the problem with Andrew Luck, of course, is that he's the number 1 overall pick. And by the way, the contract, I can't look up the contracts right now because they've already transitioned him to retired, and I have to stare at it some more. It's not on the fly for me. But generally speaking, for him, basically what would happen is he got a signing bonus. And so however long the contract was, the team could theoretically ask him to return the prorated portion of the signing bonus that was paid up front. If he's got 2 years left and it was, however much. But Alex is right.
It was something around $20 million that I saw.
The team said that they're not going to do that to him.
Yeah. Which is unusual for a team
move.
Not to do that. Yeah.
The Redskins for sure would have asked him for money back.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, and speaking back to the Jordan Reed thing for a second, does anyone know off the top of their head what's the average length of time missed for a concussion? Like, I know there's a big range, but what is the
Oh, I think in the NFL, maybe a week.
Yeah, it's a week or two at most. Yeah. In basketball, it's like a day. They'll get those guys back out there.
There is a crazy range, like you said. Remember Sidney Crosby for the Penguins missed like a year with a concussion.
Okay.
His brain was turned into absolute scrambled eggs.
Yes.
That was a little bit different.
Let me explain to people how this process works. The NFL established a new concussion protocol a few years ago because, the NFL really didn't have one, and the teams were going, okay, are you good? Here's some smelling salts. Get back out there.
Right. Rub some dirt on it. That was the mentality. Yeah.
And so what happens now is these guys have to go get
MRIs.
They're put into what's called a concussion protocol, and then they're sent to an independent neurologist. Mm-hmm. And then they stay in this status until the independent neurologist says they can practice. And then after that, then they go back again, and then they get cleared to play. That's how it works. And so we're not going to know anything. Mm-hmm. And then Jay Gruden said this on Sunday's presser. We're not going to know anything until he gets cleared to practice by the neurologist. Once we know that, then we'll know. But the guys have also been in that practice status and still miss games.
Sure.
So for Jordan, I mean, the last concussion he had was a couple of years ago. He was out for like 5 weeks or something with it. It was a long time.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to 5 weeks, but it was many weeks.
So it sounds like the new concussion protocol rules are going to are probably going to extend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, the idea now is the decision's out of the hands of the coaches. It's out of the hands of the training staff. It's put into some independent doctor's hands. Which, by the way, that's the right move. This is absolutely what you should do. Get a doctor who's qualified to say you're good, you're not good. This is the right thing to do. But it is a little frustrating, I'm sure, for us.
I'm sure Jay's ready to pull his hair out, about it.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with Jordan Reed. I love the guy, have major respect for his talent, but it's time for this era.
Well, I think with the number of concussions he's had, he really does need to kind of consider and hanging it up.
I'm not going to tell him what to do. What I would do is point out, go take everybody in the Wayback Machine, go back to like February, where I said on this show that the Redskins should trade Jordan Reed.
Oh yeah, I think we all kind of were okay with the idea.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. That's just not what the Redskins do. They don't trade veterans. Like that. And spare me the Trent Williams thing, we'll see. But just generally speaking, they don't. But, I'm kind of with you, Sean. I love the guy. He's an immense talent. He's got great hands. He's a mismatch for a variety of reasons. But the man just cannot stay on the field. Cannot.
And it's... I mean, the concussions are bad, and he's had a lot of them. But he's had so many other health issues.
Yeah.
Legs, arms, head, shoulder, knees, toes, man. Everything gets hurt with him.
Yeah. It does.
Yep.
And the Redskins have a pretty deep tight end group right now. They've got good, solid tight ends that aren't going to make the team this year. I mean, and they've got an all-pro in Vernon Davis. Is he what he once was? I think he kind of – well, actually, I think he kind of is what he once was, to be perfectly honest. He's probably a tick or two slower. But in terms of his hands and all this stuff and his route running, this is what he's always been.
But I don't think he could be a 50-catch season kind of guy anymore.
Yes, he can.
He's
a 40-catch guy now, and he's been splitting catches with other tight ends since he's been here. I actually think he can be. I think Vernon Reed is one of these freaking nature athletes.
Davis.
Sorry, Vernon Reed. Vernon Reed is the guitar player for the Cult of Personality band, Living Colour. Sorry, for a '90s reference. That's who Vernon Reed is.
Pull.
Yeah.
Nice pull, Steve.
Vernon Davis is one of these freaking nature level athletes, even for the NFL, and he's in such great shape. I'm just, I looked at his numbers a few weeks ago. That's why I say this. He's sort of doing what he's always done. It's just he had a better quarterback in the past. Last year was such a disaster quarterback-wise. I actually think Vernon Davis can do that.
How old is Davis now? 36? 35, something like that?
Yeah, 35, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this, guys. Let's pick up Brett Favre, and let's have the oldest quarterback, tight end, running back group in the NFL.
I'm okay with that at this point. I mean, this is such a weird season for us anyway. Why not? It'll be fun.
Yeah, it is.
But I think we all agree Reed is one of those guys. But I also think you got to pay attention to what's happening with Trent Williams. He's basically got the same situation as this Andrew Luck situation where he's chronically hurt. And, him not showing up is ostensibly him not wanting to retire, but retiring in a way at this point. I mean, that's kind of what's...
He's always played through injury.
That's
though.
true.
That's the difference between Luck and Williams. Is Williams gets hurt just as often.
Well, Trent's never had a ruptured spleen either.
No.
I mean, Trent just had bad knees, basically.
Yeah. And same with Morgan Moses, for that matter. It's always been bad legs.
Morgan's never missed a game, though.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, he basically falls on the ground in pain every down.
Yeah, I mean, about Trent, I mean, everybody thinks that I'm just being vindictive about this guy because I'm saying don't trade him. That's not it to me. To me, you don't just trade a 7-time Pro Bowler. These guys don't. Franchise left tackles don't just fall out of the sky. They don't. They're hard to find. I mean, we could have easily ended up with Russell Okung.
Sure.
That year, and who's done half of what Trent Williams has done.
Well, and Okung was, everyone said, was the better prospect at the time.
Exactly right. We drafted Andre Johnson a million years ago with the 32nd pick in round 1, and he was gone by 5 minutes later. Mm-hmm. You don't know when you're going to find Trent Williams, and I think it's foolish to just trade him. Just because the man's a little bit unhappy, let him pout. Who cares? Because there's no guarantee you can find another Trent Williams for years. So personally, I would just let him pout. I don't think his trade value is going to go down that much by sitting out a year. If somebody's desperate now, they'll be desperate in 10 months from now or 8 months from now or whatever. And so I would just let him sit. I still think Dan Snyder needs to hop on Redskins One and fly to wherever Trent is and sit down with him and go, look, bud, I'm sorry this came to this. The buck stops with me. It's my fault. What can we do to fix it? Can I throw money at you or what? And if he says fire the training staff, I'm saying I'm not doing that for one player, but tell me something I can do for you and try to fix it. That's what I would do, and just forget the trade. I don't even.
What if they did get a first-round pick off?
So what? The first-round pick will be no. The first-round pick will be there after the season. We're not.
See, that's where I think you're
service.
wrong. I think his value goes down.
I don't.
Probably 50-60% after the season.
He's a 7-time Pro Bowler. He's a unique. Under normal circumstances, I agree with you.
He's old. And now he's a 7-time Pro Bowler who's got such a bad attitude he won't come play for somebody.
Except that, he's not getting beat up this year. So he's going to be 4 months older. Big deal. He's saving the wear and tear on his body for one season if he sits out all season.
They don't look at it as 4 months. They'll look at it as he's 12 months older because of when the season starts.
I think if the Houston Texans are desperate now, they'll be desperate then. That's what I'm saying.
See, I don't think they will be. But that's just me. I would.
Yeah. I wouldn't pay a first-round pick for him anyway. First of all, I think he's more valuable to the Redskins than any other team.
Yeah, there was that fake rumor that the Pats offered us a first-rounder. But
I definitely wouldn't send him to New England. That I would not do out of spite. We're not sending you to get a Super Bowl ring. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, hell no. Hell no. I'm with you on that. All right, fair enough. Anything else about Andrew Luck retiring, chronically injured players? Anything else you guys want to throw out there? That stuff, or should we move on?
I like I said, I just am shocked that NFL teams don't have a better way of figuring out who these guys are who always get hurt, because it seems like it's such a crapshoot.
Well, I think they do know, and they're just taking
a shot.
They're taking a shot at it. Like the Patriots knew Rob Gronkowski was injury prone. The Redskins knew Chris Thompson was injury prone. And they knew Jordan Reed was injury prone. That's why these guys fall in the draft.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jordan Reed might have been first-round talent. Gronkowski certainly was a first-round talent. Yeah. But when you have the injury history, they're making a judgment, a value judgment, and taking injury history into account, I think.
I guess.
Robert Griffin, I guess you never knew about Robert Griffin, but, you can't win every battle, in terms of evaluation.
Well, there kind of was. He had an ACL injury before.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
It's interesting about Gronkowski. I think, like you said, Steve, it all comes down to, even if you know the guy's going to get hurt, the weeks that he's not hurt, he's the workhorse of the offense. He's the engine that powers the offense.
Right.
So it's just a value.
And did you notice, by the way, that the Patriots drafted N'Keal Harry this year in round 1, who's another big-bodied, fast, strong receiver, so he's kind of plays a different position, but at the end of the day, he's a big downfield target like Brady had before.
Well, Brady's been there 100 years. They know what he likes.
Yeah. They know Tom Brady likes big, burly men.
Yeah. There you go.
Who doesn't? All right, awesome. Well, shall we move on then? Talk a little bit of the Falcons game?
Sure.
Do a little recap?
Sure.
We have to?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve, last week you said all you wanted to see was a competent football team take the field. Did you see that this week against the Falcons?
Were they competent? Yes. Did they really screw up anything? No.
Yes. They screwed up one or two things.
Yeah, but did they embarrass themselves?
No. No. They didn't embarrass themselves, but we had that. First off, let's start with this question: fumble or interception? What was that?
Well, live, when I first saw it live, I thought it was easily an interception, and then when I slowed it down and watched it a bunch of times, I thought it was a fumble.
So, what makes you think fumble? Because his arm goes forward with the ball, and then a guy takes it away.
Yeah,
from him.
but his arm got hit in the process of. Going forward, and that's why I thought it was a fumble.
Okay. Because to me, I think that should have been kept an interception on the stat sheet.
Fair enough. Real stats for this game, you guys have seen them, but just to review them real fast. Case Keenum was 9 of 14, 101 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, rating of 85.7. Dwayne Haskins was 7 for 13, 74 yards, 70.7 rating. Darius Geis is the leading rusher, 11. He was 11 for 44 for an average of 4, long of 12. Chris Thompson was 3 for 20. Receiving, Cam Sims was the winner. He was 3 for 48. Kelvin Harmon was 2 for 37. It goes down from there. On defense, John Bostic, JoJo McIntosh, Ryan B., B.J. Blunt all had 5 tackles. So that's
nice.
real fast stats.
I'll tell you what, I loved what we saw, the little bit we saw out of Geis.
Oh, yeah. How can you not be happy with what Geis did?
No, you got to have a smile on your face after that. With Peterson and Geis, we have an extremely prolific stable of running backs.
Even morons like us, because none of us are running back experts, right? You can look at the way Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson run, and then you look at guys like Samaje Perine and Byron Marshall. It's just a different level. Geis and Peterson have this footwork that's just unbelievable, and they have vision.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that's just so far better than those other guys.
Here's what I notice, Steve. They run through these holes, and you're saying, of course, look at that giant hole. But then you know in the back of your brain that Perine is going to run right into that guard and not hit the hole every time. So,
have either of you ever carried a ball in tackle football?
Not as a running back.
Okay.
No, I played some flag football. That's about it.
No, I have, and it is really freaking hard because you have zero time to see these holes. It is amazing to me that. And I was never, I'm just talking about once or twice in practice, and when they
you got to be a telepath.
You have to be a telepath. It is really hard. I never did it in a game, but it is really, really hard to see. And I'm amazed that these guys can do this. I think Darius Geis has his agility back. He can move better than anybody not named Adrian Peterson. I really liked what I saw from Geis.
Both of them have every move on the controller. They've got the stiff arms, the spin moves, the outside running, the insides. They've
cuts, they're perfect. And I get the feeling that Geis has kind of watched Peterson now for a year and said, okay, I see what I have to do. And because his running style and Peterson's running style look very similar this year.
Yeah, they do.
That's got to help. I mean, imagine being a running back one spot behind Peterson on the depth chart. I mean, that's got to help. Your strategy, your football
and knowing
mind,
you have the talent to kind of match it.
And Peterson is a very smart runner, and he's just got this unbelievable gift from God in terms of his vision. And because he should be a Samaje Perine. He's actually that big. Adrian Peterson's big, but he's fast. He's got vision. He's got everything Perine doesn't. And by the way, I was happy to see Perine get some carries and got a touchdown. And I'm not down on Perine. I just don't think he's a starter. But I think if Peterson and Geis can stay healthy all year, and the offensive line cannot look like total dog doo-doo, it could be a special. They could legitimately be a good running team this year.
Well, and they're going to have to be because the one thing we saw with the defensive starters playing was this defense. When you get all the starters playing, it's very good. And well, look, if not for that fumble interception, it would have been a shutout game for the defense.
Well, let me tell you what I saw. Are we moving to defense?
Sure.
Well, because I actually have some O-line stuff to talk about, too.
Well, we can jump back, but sure.
Okay, all right. So defense, I went back and watched the entire game on slow-mo before the show. And the defensive line in particular got manhandled. The starters kind of got manhandled by the Falcons' offensive line. They didn't get a ton of penetration. They had their moments here and there. Montez Sweat over-pursued once or twice, but the interior of the defensive line was largely blocked. They did not get good pressure on Matt Ryan, and I realize Matt Ryan's an all-pro, MVP caliber player, and he knows how to get rid of the ball, but I was not that impressed with him, to be perfectly honest. The Falcons are a good team. The Falcons have, some offensive linemen that are solid.
Yeah, especially in their interior. They're
and I'm saying that what I saw, particularly when I went back and watched it again, was a defensive line that lost the battle by and large at the line of scrimmage to the Falcons starters. And but for a fumble, a couple fumbled punts and whatnot, and but for a muffed, field goal by the Falcons, it could have been a different story. Okay?
Yeah.
It could have been a different story. I wasn't that impressed with our defensive line and the starting defensive line in this game.
See, I don't know. I don't think they got pressure on the quarterback, but no one's running up the middle very well against them so far this preseason. So I see guys like not Sweat necessarily, but Allen and Payne. They're getting in the backfield, getting to the running backs quite a bit.
They're not getting in the backfield though. They're hitting them for
3-yard losses.
I mean, maybe you saw things differently than I saw. I didn't think they looked that good against the starters, and I thought they did look better in run defense than pass defense. I'll give you that much. In terms of the pass, I just didn't think they got good penetration.
No, I agree that Ryan probably had more time to throw than I'd like, but
yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying, Steve. I didn't watch it in slow motion or anything, but I got kind of the same sense. I'm not going to panic about it yet. I think there's a ton of talent there. There's some inexperience there, so that's that factors into it. Not ready to indict them, but the defensive backfield looked pretty good. I mean, obviously there were times when they didn't, but Collins and Norman with support, a.k.a. Collins, is way better than Norman without support. I'm actually feeling very confident in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, I mean,
Collins was looking better and better each week.
He looked great.
Collins was a beast. He really was. Some of the limitations I saw on him on film with the Giants were really in pass coverage more than anything else.
Sure.
But he's looked great so far, from at least in the little bit of 2 games he's played.
Well, I think the Redskins aren't asking him to do everything like the Giants were. They're probably playing to his strengths a little bit more here.
Well, the Giants were basically using him as a linebacker.
Yeah.
It was in essence a linebacker, and the Redskins are using him as a legitimate safety. And by the way, I'd just like to point out that the Falcons, Devontae Freeman did not play. Who's their starting running back?
Fair enough.
Ito Smith was the guy who got carries, and the Falcons.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, so
Didn't one of their
Devontae
wide
got 2
receivers
carries.
sit out too?
Devontae got 2 carries. Sorry, and then he was out of the game. So it's just different.
Didn't Julio Jones or somebody sit out? Who else?
Julio did not have a target.
Yeah, I think he sat out.
I wouldn't swear that him not getting a single play, but I know he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't have a target. So I don't know. I wasn't overly thrilled. I thought they looked a lot better against the Bengals. The defensive line.
They definitely looked better against the Bengals. Yeah.
And that makes sense. The Falcons are a very good team, and they're going to be good again this
Falcons are a playoff contender. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Did you want to go back to
yeah,
O-line
I
stuff
did,
real quick?
because what we saw was Donald Penn, left tackle, and Eric Flowers, left guard. The 2 of those guys, I thought Flowers had his moments here and there where he looked decent on certain plays. The problem with Eric Flowers is his consistency, and it's remained inconsistent. I thought he took a step back against the Falcons as compared to the Bengals game. I thought he looked pretty good against the Bengals. Against the Falcons, there were times when he had good technique, when he used good leverage, and there was other times when it was like the Olay block, where he never set his feet, he was off balance, he didn't engage with his hands, and he let Case Keenum get crushed once. That having been said, though, Wes Martin also let Dwayne Haskins get crushed for largely the same reason. So I'm not sure that Wes Martin, we'd have to ask like Adam Taraski, Robbie Duncan or something, but my impression was that Wes Martin at this point isn't better than Eric Flowers.
Well, one thing I've noticed more and more is just how much better that left side of the line is in the run blocking versus the pass blocking at this point. Like if you were to grade them, their run blocking is probably somewhere in like the B range, and their pass blocking is a low C, maybe even a D plus for the most part. So, I think there's a real discrepancy in just their capabilities in those 2 phases of the game, and that's what worries me is like it's the left side of the line, and they can't really pass block, but if you're running towards them, we could be effective 4 or 5 yards a run. So.
Well,
Which it kind of makes sense, right? Because pass blocking is a little bit more reactive.
Oh, it's absolutely yes. Pass blocking is a lot harder. Sure.
So, yeah.
I just think they're going to have a problem in the left side of the line, and they're just going to have to get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That's just all there is to it. And I think, what I've read about Donald Penn is he's still out of shape, and he's still getting into football shape.
You can even see that a little bit.
Yeah, and he retired, and then he came back, and, I don't know if he even expected to play this year, and so he's out of shape. But the other thing, I'll tell you what, Brandon Scherf did not have a good night.
No.
I mean, he missed multiple blocks. He was pulling, and he would, on edge rushes to his side, and he's just flat out missing blocks. He missed a block on a screen pass to Geis. I just didn't think Brandon Scherf. I don't think Brandon Scherf had a good night.
Was he injured at the end of last year?
Sure.
I mean, everyone's injured at the end of last year.
Yeah, that's man. Good point. It's fair.
I just think he had kind of an off night. I mean, I don't. He's still, a Pro Bowl guard. Don't get me wrong. I just point that out.
No. Fair.
Okay, and the other notes I had from rewatching the game again, I think Dwayne Haskins really has a good connection with Cam Sims. They seem to be on the same page in terms of timing.
Sure.
And Harmon.
And Kelvin Harmon, too. I think Dwayne has a good connection with both those guys in terms of they just kind of know where the ball's supposed to be. He can hit Cam Sims in stride.
Yeah.
Down deep, and Harmon, too. So I think those two guys are kind of the future. We just haven't – Terry McLaurin's been on the field about 2 seconds the entire preseason. Who knows? But you have to think he knows McLaurin pretty well, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of the future, I mean, Kelvin Harmon, Cam Sims, man.
That's what you want. That's really what you want to see with Haskins over the course of the preseason was you want to see him developing a better and better relationship, for lack of a better word, with all the younger wide receivers who are going to hopefully be here for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so it was great to see.
Yeah, has he looked a little bit better kind of every game?
Oh, absolutely.
He has.
Yeah. His first game, he was actually kind of bad. And then second game versus Cincinnati, better. And this was probably his best. Like, he seems to have a really good command of the huddle this week.
Well, you know what? I went back and also watched Haskins' interceptions against the Browns. And I saw Dan Orlovsky do a breakdown on one of them, and he pointed out some formation issues and failures that led to the pick six against the Browns. And what he pointed out was that the receiver, the Z receiver on the right side on that pick six was supposed to just set a pick, and he just completely blew the pick. In part because he was lined up too far out to the outside, and what Orlovsky said, which made a lot of sense, is Haskins is expecting the pick to be made, and there would have been space for that ball had the pick been made. When I'm talking about the receiver making the pick. So that was a real interesting breakdown from an NFL quarterback on that play. So I actually kind of think that Dwayne really wasn't quite as bad in the first game as
his numbers looked. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, beautiful. Anything else about the Falcons game before we get into our predictions?
Let's see. Keenum, I thought looked okay, not great.
I mean, that's been Keenum all offseason.
Yeah,
it's been Keenum in his entire career,
right?
For the most part, with the exception of 1 year.
Yeah, I mean, he's a career journeyman. This is what he's going to be.
Jordan Reed had just a flat-out drop. You don't see that very often. He had a ball, it hit him right in the hands, went straight through his hands. He never does that. That was unusual. Montez Sweat, both good and bad. He over-pursued a couple times in the run game. It's like he was like staring at the quarterback, didn't realize the running back even had the ball over-pursued, caused a big gain. Other times
Welcome
he did
to the big league.
Yeah, other times, he did just blow by the tackle. Really showed speed. So I think he's kind of a rookie, doing rookie things. O-line dominated, D-line, already said that. Flowers, Ito Smith. Matt Flanagan had a really bad drop. Made a note of that. Jaron Christian, he got owned a couple times, when he came into the game. That's, I think, why Donald Penn is played in the first team this year.
Right.
Haskins did miss an open touchdown to Steven Sims. That was 100% on Haskins on that crossing pattern with Sims in the end zone. That looked to me like 100% on Haskins.
Like you said, he's a rookie doing rookie things.
It was just a bad pass. It's a bad pass. He missed it. Landon Collins dropped an interception, but I thought overall Collins looked like
so close though.
Yeah, but Collins overall is everything that we hoped for so far,
right.
At least.
Agreed.
Samaje Perine, like I said, I'm glad he got some carries. Good for him. And the other guy, the guy who's kind of flashing on offense, I think, is Reynolds, the running back. He seems to be the next guy up.
You think so? I don't know if he makes the team just because it's a crowded backfield.
Maybe not, but I'm just saying, of the guys that are kind of below the cut line, he's the guy that seems to be the one who's getting the bulk of the carries, late in the game. And so I wonder if he's maybe going to be the guy that ends up on the practice squad.
I think he's a practice squad guy because they like to use him in practices too as like the contact guy.
Yeah.
The guy who, hey, we're not supposed to make contact, but it's Reynolds. It's okay.
But do what you got to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
But he's done pretty well, I think, and so I think he's got a shot,
Yeah.
at least. It's a
we
real
should-
shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real shame that Sean Wilson went out, because we saw Greg Stroman fair catch a ball again.
Yeah.
Steven Sims fair caught a ball,
Yeah. Greg Stroman fair catches so many balls, we're just going to rename the fair catch to Stroman.
Well, I
Yeah.
looked
Yeah,
up.
he's
I
Stroman.
did look this up last year, and the Redskins actually had the fewest number of punt returns in the NFL.
Yeah.
By
I
a
remember.
lot.
Totally.
I remembered that, but you did post the number I saw on Twitter. Or
Yeah, it
something.
was 17.
And B. Mitch responded to something about it. So
Oh yeah, that was B. Mitch responded because I actually misread a poster.
right.
Somebody
You
asked us
saw
a
he was talking
question.
about Hall of Fame, and
Yeah, I thought
saw
he was
that.
talking about Hall of Fame eligibility, and the guy was just saying, does B. Mitch have eligibility to play? And I was like, he's got 9 years of Hall of Fame eligibility left, like a moron. So, and so I think B. Mitch was either laughing at me or laughing at the thought that he could play.
That he could play for another
anything.
9 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one or the other.
All right, cool. Well, then let's get into it. This is hurry up, get Mark Bullock on the phone. We're doing season predictions.
We should have conned him and just brought him on, and
It's only
Fine,
like
fine.
2 in the morning there.
Yeah, let's. He's up.
Yeah.
Let's
he's
call him
used to
Mitch
that.
Schultz.
Yeah, come on, 2 in the morning is nothing for that guy.
Well, I'm actually scanning my Facebook or Skype
Don't
Messenger to
scan
see if
face.
he's on.
Scan Skype. See if he's there.
He is not on right now.
He's hiding his status because he knew.
He
we were gonna
knows.
do this week. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, this is the time for our wonderful annual talk totally out of our butts season predictions.
Right.
This is a real tough season to call. I mean, there's so much uncertainty around the season. We kind of say that every year, but it's no less true this year than it ever has been. This is a tough one. So I've gotten lucky in the past. Alex absolutely killed it last year in the predictions, both game by game and record. So let's see if we can all get relatively close.
How close was I? I don't even remember. I think I.
You
picked,
did not
what
do
I
well
pick?
last year.
I think I predicted 7 and 9. I think I predicted 7 and 9. Actually, I think I got
Yes.
pretty close.
Well,
I
I
hit
think
the
we
record.
all kind
did.
of were in that 7 and 9 range, which was weird. But you predicted almost every game wrong. It was very funny.
Yeah, but the result. The result was
you
there.
got the end result.
Yeah.
I think I predicted 9 and 7, and I also was totally wrong.
I should have looked up what we did last year to poke fun. But oh
Yeah.
well.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, well.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's do this. This is tough. We got one more preseason to go, and then we are in the season. So let's call these games.
All right.
Week 1.
Let's
Eagles.
let's do these kind of power quickly. No
gotta do it quick.
overthinking it. So I'm going loss week 1 at Philadelphia.
Yeah. First game at Philly. That's a loss.
Let's make it 3. I also have a loss. I just don't see
All
this
right.
one. Are you writing these down?
I am writing them down like I always do.
Oh God, damn it. Okay. That's 3 week 1 losses. That's wow. Is that
That's not a good way to
how many
start.
times have we won a week?
Yeah, we won last year
Yes,
against the
we did.
Cardinals.
We did
But the Cardinals
versus
were the
Arizona.
worst team in
Yeah.
the NFL. So it's like you
Okay.
can't help but win that game.
That's right. Okay, cool. Week 2, Cowboys. What y'all thinking?
I hate to do it. I'm putting down another loss.
Yeah, me too.
Oh.
Dallas. Yeah, loss.
Okay, I am then finally going to differentiate myself here. I called a win in this one, and I do know it's kind of ridiculous, but they're an 8-8 team last year. I think we can eke out a win.
They were a 10 and 6
Especially-
team last year, man.
They were 10-6 last year?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
won the division.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, there you go. Then they were even better. So still, I think we can win. It's early in the season. We'll have some energy. No one's going to be too beat up. Come on, don't have us.
You know how
start.
you can be right is that if Ezekiel Elliott is still holding out in the
Yeah.
season,
Yeah, and
You know,
they're
their
missing
offense totally changes
one of their
if
best
Zeke
pass
is out.
rushers. So
yeah.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So that is you guys predicting a loss. I predicted a win. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Then number 3 is the Bears.
On Monday
You
Night
guys
Football.
think?
Monday Night Football,
Monday Night Football.
Bears, loss.
Yeah, that's a bad look. That's a loss. I mean, Khalil Mack against Donald Penn and Jerron Christian isn't going to go well.
No.
Yeah. I'm also saying loss for the Bears. I have them actually doing pretty decent this year. If I'm just predicting
The Bears?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them at like a 9 or 10 win team this year.
Yeah,
So.
I think most people
Call
think they're
loss.
going to be pretty good.
Yep. Okay, then let's keep on moving. Giants, week 4.
Giants, this is my first win of the season.
Yeah, me too. I think we
Wow.
can beat the Giants. Chalk
Yep.
me up for a win.
I also have a win down on this.
So this is our
one,
first sweep.
There we go. We're sweeping the Giants. Or something like that. Actually, I do have a sweeping
I
the
think
Giants.
I think everyone should have a sweeping the Giants, but yes.
Yeah, it's tough. Who knows when their new quarterback's going to start or if. So, who knows. Okay, then moving right along. Number 5, Patriots.
Should we say it all together?
Yeah.
Do we even need to?
Yeah.
Do we need to?
1, 2, 3, loss.
Loss.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no way that's going to happen.
Right. By the way, everyone always talks about, well, they need to get a good start with this schedule. Sean has us going 2 and 3, and Steve and I both are the exact
1 and
same
4.
1 and 4.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We're all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
I hope
Okay.
we're wrong.
Right.
Obviously.
You can't indict us for calling a loss against the Patriots. If you're calling a win against the Patriots right now, especially, that's
That's a lot of
insane.
cocaine you're doing.
Yeah, send that over to the Hog Sty P.O. box once we get it.
Please
set up.
don't, because I have the control of the P.O. box. So please don't do that. Send it to Sean Conti's house.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, number 6 then. 6th game of the season, Dolphins.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
This is, I think, a good win for us, and I think this is the, all right, we got through the bad schedule. Now things can start turning around for them.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins have the potential to suck. So I actually think the Redskins are going to pull this out. They might not look great, but I think they're going to get a win.
By the
it's
way,
going
this
to be
will
like the
also-
Redskins over Jacksonville last year.
This
Tough
is
win.
also a favorite week that people have for the start of Haskins. Is the Miami Dolphins?
Oh, okay. Interesting, right?
Just a note.
The Dolphins suck. I'm going definite win on this one.
So we're all
But
saying
that
win?
Most likely, yeah. The Redskins win.
Oh.
Beat the Dolphins. Yep. I have a hard time looking at their schedule. I have a hard time seeing them getting very many wins at all. But, it's early. Okay, do we all go for Dolphins?
Yep.
Yep, we all said win versus Miami.
Beautiful. Okay, the next couple games I think are kind of tough to predict. The next one after this is the 49ers.
Right.
How are we feeling about the 49ers?
I said this is also a win. I think Kyle Shanahan's teams are a mess. So
Yeah, I think it's a win too, and part of it is because the Panthers or the 49ers are coming to the East Coast.
that's a good point.
I don't think they're all that great a team, and they're traveling. So I think the Redskins can eke out a win here too.
Yeah, I think. What did I even write down? This one I wrote win ?
I mean, it's a 50-50 game.
Yeah, it is. I kind of see them as a 50-50 team this year, the 49ers, that is. I'm going to say win as my official prediction. They've got an early bye week. They're going to be healthy at this point. They're going to be somewhat more rested. It's going to be a tough game. I think we win it, though. Okay, sweet. Let's keep moving. After this, we have the Vikings Bowl. How are we feeling about Skins Vikings?
Kurt versus Jay versus whoever else is on the field.
Right.
I hate to say it, but I think this is a loss.
Yeah, this is a Thursday night primetime game. There's no way the Redskins can win a game like that. And the games that matter the most, when they really want to win, they lose. So, I mean, I think Kirk Cousins is going to come in here and dominate, and it's going to look really bad and ugly. And, I think it's going to be an ugly loss.
Ouch.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, you optimists out there.
Yeah. Don't worry, I've got the optimists covered. I have written next to this game in my little notes here, win, but in parentheses, but probably loss.
So what are
I'm
you predicting?
Yeah, I'm predicting a win, but that's kind of my homer prediction of the season for this game. So I'm predicting win officially, but I kind of see a loss, my realist side. Awesome. Okay. After the Vikings, we have the Bills.
Win.
How are you feeling about the Bills?
I mean,
Alex
the
says
win, win, even though it's in Buffalo, I think they can win this game. Josh Allen sucks. Sorry.
Yeah.
I agree as well. I'm having a win, so that makes 2 wins in a row for me, I think.
Wait, can we?
That's 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, that's game 8. So I had us at 3 and 5 at that point. Where would?
You have no, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Giants, Dolphins, 49ers wins.
First off, we're at game 9 because we just did Buffalo.
Game 9.
Oh yeah, sorry. So I had us at 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But at the game 8, I had us
So
at 3
so
and 5.
far,
Sorry.
Steve and I have predicted the exact same schedule. Sean has deferred on 2, and Sean has us at 5 and 3. So
Yeah, this is alarming. I just predicted 4 wins in a row.
oh, I'm sorry,
I hope it
6 and
comes
3.
true.
6 and 3. Yeah.
I hope it
That's
happens.
not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But it's too late. It's written in stone.
Yeah. You cannot change it ever.
Yikes. Okay. So wait, I'm sorry. We all picked wins against Bills,
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So we're not.
Okay.
I'm wondering if Steve and I end up predicting the exact same schedule.
I hope not. And if we do, we did these totally separate people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Then next game up, Game 10, Jets.
Yep.
I mean, if you can't beat the Jets
After
you
a
might as well
bye
go
week.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well just not play. So we got to beat the Jets.
Yep.
It's at
Win.
home even. Yeah.
Yeah. This is okay. Okay, yikes. Okay, I cannot predict 5 wins in a row. I have to go loss on this one. Just
well,
in principle.
you did.
I know that's ridiculous. I know.
Well,
I know. It's
guess what,
ridiculous.
Sean?
I'm saying
Who's the
loss.
next one? Because it's Detroit. Did you go 6 wins in a row?
I did say win in Detroit, but mark me down as losing to the Jets,
Okay.
please. Please mark me down as losing to the Jets.
Oh,
so
you
I'm
want
not
to
calling
lose the Jets just because you can't do it?
yeah, exactly.
All right.
I mean,
All right, fine.
And that's a totally Redskins thing to do.
Oh,
It's
it
not
is.
like I'm coming out of left field with
That's
this,
fair.
So.
All right, Detroit.
Lose a winnable game, definitely.
I'm saying win versus Detroit.
Yeah, me too.
I am
It's
also
in
saying
DC. Yes. Win.
Lions are trash. Win.
All right.
Panthers, Carolina.
Well, I have us down for a loss.
Yeah, I think the Cam Newtons are going to pull this game out one way or another. Assuming Cam is healthy, he's had health issues.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy and playing, it's in Carolina. They're probably going to be a good team. That's a loss.
I do have win written down here, but
Was that 7 wins in a row originally?
yeah, that is. I had no idea I was doing that. It's ridiculous. Okay. I don't think the Panthers are that great, honestly. Put me down as a win.
All right.
I know it's stupid,
Okay.
but put me down as a win.
All right.
I really don't have that much confidence in the Panthers.
So at the 3-quarter poll, I have myself down as 6-6.
Steve and I still have not predicted any games differently up to this point. So 6-6 as well.
And what's Sean at?
Well, Sean has 1, 2, 3, 4 losses predicted. So
Don't worry, there's more
Yeah.
coming. Don't worry.
Okay.
You guys are forgetting about the Panthers, by the way. I mean, Cam Newton had surgery. He was hurt.
You're forgetting about the Redskins.
Yeah, that's a totally fair point.
yeah.
Still. Okay. What are we up to? Packers. We're at the Packers game. This is game 13, right?
Right.
Yeah, let's go up to Green Bay in December and beat Aaron Rodgers. That's going to happen.
Well, assuming he's playing, yes. Did you see the picture of him, by the way, getting on the airplane with
Yeah, he
the
looked like
all
Borat.
denim and the mustache?
He looked like Borat in disguise to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Actually, I think he was dressing as Peter Griffin from Family Guy. There was an episode where he grew a mustache and wore all jean jackets and stuff all the time. It was
Either that or he looked like a 70s adult film star.
well, he's always had that kind of vibe.
I haven't seen this picture. I'll be Googling that
Yeah.
when the show's over. I'm curious now. Okay.
Some after-show
any-
viewing material.
Yeah. Is anyone predicting a win for the Packers?
No.
Well, you haven't answered the question.
Oh, I'm definitely predicting a loss.
Okay.
So we're all
definitely
going loss?
Yeah.
I think we're all going
All right.
loss on this one. Okay, awesome. Now we've got the return of the Eagles in Game 14. You guys all I think we all swept it. Loss in Week 1, didn't we?
Yes.
Or did we say we're winning?
All 3 of us said loss in week 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyone have any different feelings for Game 14 here?
No. I'm still saying loss.
Yeah, it's a loss. I mean, we just don't do well against the NFC East.
Right.
Agreed.
They're going to be in it. We're going to be 6-7. Loss.
All right, 2 games left. Did Steve and I predict the exact same schedule the whole way through?
Here we go. We're not covering our bases very well. We'll have to get Jamal's predictions.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and we'll do
All
what
right.
we did last year. Ask fans if they want to give us their predictions.
Yeah.
They can email them to me.
So what do we have
Okay,
to?
yeah, actually, that's a good announcement. If you have predictions, shoot them over to the hogsty@gmail.com, and we will keep track of these things
Yeah.
and see who gets the closest.
Yeah, I don't
Win a
think you'll
t-shirt.
win anything because we offered
Oh,
to
we'll
do
get a T-shirt. I'll get him a T-shirt.
a T-shirt or a gift certificate or some kind.
Yeah, a Diners Club prepaid card.
I think I got a Red Robin gift card for somebody. I might be misremembering.
Did you really?
That was weird.
Oh,
So wait, hold on. So what's the offer is what? So you're giving everybody a T-shirt? That's not what you mean,
whoever
right?
predicts the most games
okay.
right.
So we're have a big long 4-month contest, and the prize is going to be a T-shirt. Okay, got it.
Right.
That's how we do things here.
No. Here's what it was last year. I offered to get a gift card for somebody, but then I won. So
and then I told you I'm not buying you a gift card.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh man, we are a fake business. If I've ever seen one. I love it.
All right, you want to buy Alex a gift card? I don't.
No, I don't want to buy me a gift
I'll
card.
give you a $1 gift card. $1.
All right, let's get back to this. We got 2 games left. Giants.
The Giants. I'll start us off. I'm going win, which I know means I'm predicting a sweep of the Giants this year, but that's what I'm doing. If we're going to sweep an NFC team, East team, it's probably going to be them. I'm saying Giants.
I said Giants win as well.
I said loss.
Oh, good. Steve and I are not doing the exact same.
Yeah, I think this is that game where the Redskins are going to look terrible, and just something awful
happens. This is where
they're going to be out of it by this time. They've lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Giants.
Fair
It's
enough.
always a tough game. Loss.
All right. Dallas, loss for me.
Loss. Yeah.
I also said loss. I said win in week 2, lose in game 16. So
I had them on a 5-game losing streak to end the season, which didn't make me happy, but that's just the way it shook out.
Oof. That makes sense, though. Okay, so who's the most optimistic of all of us?
It's gotta be
that would be
guys are pretty
you,
damn
Sean. You said they're going 9-7.
9-7.
I
That
said
was my prediction last
7-9, and Steve has them at 6-10.
Yep. I hope I'm
Steve,
wrong.
Probably the most accurate, I would assume.
I'm certainly most in line with what Vegas thinks.
Yeah, because Vegas has us winning like 4 games or something.
But
terrible.
if Rick Rogers were here with us, he would be scolding me right now.
Yeah, he'd be at 12-4 or something.
Yeah, he would.
Oh my God.
You have to admire the guy's optimism.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of Kool-Aid to drink from. All right, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. Not a huge range here in predictions. I guess there's I'm predicting 3 more wins than
But
Steve,
can you
it's
really
not
go
all that
wrong with the Redskins predicting somewhere between 6-10 and 9-7? That's not exactly going out on a limb because they happen to do that every
Safe.
year.
It's pretty safe.
Yeah.
And like I said, I predicted 9-7 last year.
Right. Unless you're in a Shanahan where it's like 6-10 is the good year,
Right. Okay, and like we said, we'll get Jamal's predictions too. We'll put all of these up on the hogsty.com, and we will also source your predictions, so make sure you're sending those to the hogsty@gmail.com so we can look through your season predictions and determine a winner sometime by the end of the season. It's a highly scientific process that we go through to select these winners, so if you have the same record and similar predictions as somebody else, we're just going to have to pick a winner based on our very complex algorithm. That's how it works here at the Hog Sty.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to throw out there about any of the things we talked about today before we let people get back to their
announcement
lives?
wise, we're going to be transitioning to our regular season show schedule. So that means this show is, you're listening to this on Monday. Our next show after this will be on Thursday, which will be Thursday the 5th.
Right.
Which will be the game preview for the Eagles. So we're going to go a couple extra days without a show just so we can get into regular season mode. So that's the big announcement.
Right.
This is the last show of the offseason.
We actually get a whole weekends to ourselves for a change.
The grind will start now.
Yeah.
And it'll be 2 episodes a week again, like it always is during the season.
Right.
And they do tend to be a little bit shorter, but we are doing double shows. So
Yeah, we shoot for 30 minutes, but we never hit it.
It never works out. Yeah,
No.
ever.
Yeah. And we obviously will be doing our traditional game preview articles and game recap articles, as well as tons of editorial content throughout the year. So all of that good stuff is coming, and you have it to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you guys got?
No.
Big Heads Media.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
like
we're
we
still
said right
kind
at
of
the top.
getting online with that,
Yeah.
but keep watching out for it.
Some offline stuff that we got to discuss, but I'll mention it here. We got to do a commercial to put on their website. So
Yes, we do. That's right.
We got to work on that, guys.
We've graduated to doing commercials now,
Yeah.
folks at home.
Hey, everybody!
Big time. Yeah. Steve's going to do it in his Kermit voice.
Yeah.
yeah, but I might get, if we do that and then they're selling ads based on Kermit, we might get in trouble with Disney or whoever owns the Kermit.
I think it is
copyright now.
Disney.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, have we gotten a cease and desist letter yet, guys? I can't remember.
We sent a couple cease and desist letters.
Yeah,
that's right. When we get one, finally, I'm going to frame it. All right. We'll end on that note. This has been the Hog Sty. Check us out, hogsty.com, as well as bigheadsmedia.com. So much more coming as the season starts. We'll see you all next time. Take care.
Toodles.
Cut.
That radio.